Hello, people. Morning, waiting back here again as always, and as usual. I will be covering another spirit from the grimoire of Turiel by the name of Amabiel. That's obviously spelled Amabiel. I repeat, Amabiel. Now, he is mentioned as one of the presiding spirits of Mars, the last out of the three, the first two ones being Samael and Satael. Now, he's also mentioned in Gustav's Dictionary of Angels, and I recite. Amabiel, angel of the air on Tuesday and a presiding spirit of the planet Mars. Amabiel is also one of the angelic luminaries concerned with human sexuality. References Malchus, the secret grimoire of Turiel, the Abano, the Heptameron, Masters Eros and Evil, and Barrett the Magus II or the Magus II. Now, so yeah, let's get this party started. Amabiel, everything mentioned therein is correct. He is associated with the air, but at the same time, he also has very strong Martian influences. Air-wise, corresponding zodiacally is Aquarius, unsurprisingly, since Aquarius is the fixed of all the aerial zodiac signs, the other two ones being Gemini and Libra, standing for it simply stands for peak potency. And the Martian influences, specifically zodiacally, Aries. Um, and the part about human sexuality, he is, that also is correct. But he specifically the physical aspect of human sexuality. So think when it comes to sex, literally purely the physical aspect of it. That's where Aries also comes into play. So don't think of lust, don't think of any of the things that come to mind or romance, sex wise. Literally simply think of the physical aspect of the physical act of sex, as in two people going at it, but strip away all the intentions and everything. Essentially, look at everything through the eyes of a being that doesn't know what sex is, essentially. Will essentially simply see two people rubbing up against each other, and blah, 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 etc., etc. You know the deal. That's what I mean. Literally and figuratively speaking, only the physical aspect of human sexuality. In that context, yes, that applies. Let me see. For the rest, yeah, what Amabiel specializes in, other than just everything overall in general, is notably dealing with mental illnesses. Dealing with mental illnesses and or hardships that impose a tremendous amount of mental stress upon any human being. Um, so again, most hardships have that effect on people. You know, people that go through horrible things in life in general, it takes a tremendous toll on them mentally. Now, Amabiel specializes in helping you deal with that, other than being able to help you with anything and everything overall. But he specializes in helping you essentially burn away all that negativity. Um, all that hardship as well as the trauma it might have been, or in more often than not, it afflicts upon you, just overall mental damage. Um, and there is one drawback in dealing with Amabiel, which is that results are more of a short-term nature as opposed to a long-term nature. So think more short bursts, not something that, for example, you have 25 years of trauma that needs to be, or mental damage that needs to be worked away. No. Essentially, Amabiel will be able to help you out with removing a good chunk of that, but not to the point where you can say, oh, okay, so I'm going to work with you for 2 years until all of it is gone. No, you would essentially have to divide things up, if you will, throughout, essentially like in a quarterly interval or something similar, where you essentially take care of chunk number one, as in, okay, 2 years worth of trauma, and then take a break for a month or two, and then rinse and repeat, and it just goes on like that. Um, so there is a lack of endurance and or perseverance, um, property wise, referring to his specialty or specialties. So go and keep in mind short-term goals or goals of a short-term nature. Okay, essentially more a one or a two off or a three off, but not something that is the equivalent of a multi-year plan. Even a 1 year plan is a stretch. And that is it for Amabiel. Last but not least, last but not least, his appearance. Amabiel appears as a typical angel, so Caucasian looking man, with the sun in the background and a lot of air surrounding him, like around him. And at the same time, also flaming embers around him. So think flames mixed with air. Um, and let me see what else was there. He's dressed in default colored robe, so white mixed with red. Um, Hold on, let me think. And no, that was all from Amabiel. Bye.